Tomorrow is a very, very, very big day. Two major events are unfolding. The first one, I'm supposed to die, according to the prophecy that I was given by Prophet Emmanuel Makandiwa's spiritual son at 4:30 p.m.
I saw you dying on the 9th of March.
Yo, this coming March.
This 9th of March.
On the 9th, like just a week from now. A week and 4 days from now.
Exactly 4:30 in the afternoon. This is going to be a car accident.
The second one is the big ritual that Prophet Emmanuel Makandiwa is performing at his shrine. Just to keep you up to speed, he called upon all the prophets and all the native doctors. Should I say worldwide, or let me just focus on Zimbabwe? He called upon all the false prophets, or all the prophets in Zimbabwe, and all the sangomas, all the witch doctors, to come and prove their worth, to come and prove that they can see in the realms of the spirit, to come and prophesy what will be in his pockets. I did a video earlier, and I was just trying to understand what's your understanding of what is going on. But based on your feedback, I can tell most of you have no clue as to what is happening. Most of you are in darkness. Well, that's why I'm here, so that I can shed more light, so that I can bring it to your awareness. Let me tell you this. Whatever that is happening tomorrow at Emmanuel Makandiwa's shrine is unholy. That's one of the biggest rituals that he is going to perform for him to be elevated, for him to go to the next level in his area of specialization. I'm sure you and I will both agree that Emmanuel Makandiwa is one of the most sophisticated sangomas in the land of Zimbabwe. He went to Ghana for initiation. Of course it was initiation by Kusi Boateng. That's his spiritual father, the short guy from Ghana, that one who has been missing prophecies left, right, and center. If you look at Kusi Boateng, trust me, this man called Kusi is deep into rituals. And he's the one who brought Emmanuel to Ghana sometime back in 2010, 2011. That's when all the shenanigans started. But I want you to pay attention to what is happening tomorrow. He has called upon all the prophets and all the native doctors. Keyword, prophets are just a decoy. He doesn't really care much about prophets because he is fully aware that all the prophets in Zimbabwe, they are blank. All the prophets in Zimbabwe see nothing. All the prophets in Zimbabwe are wannabes. They are just empty, like empty, empty, empty. It's just the title that they carry. His main concern, his main target are native doctors. His main target are sangomas. His main target are sorcerers and witch doctors. That's why he is baiting them with $1 million US. Do you know why he is targeting these entities from the kingdom of darkness? Because he wants to tap into their dark powers. He's setting a trap for them. Should I take you back down the memory lane? Some of you may not understand. I have studied Emmanuel Makandiwa to the core. I know Emmanuel Makandiwa like the back of my hand. I'll take you back into time. Before you knew him, before he became the prophet Emmanuel Makandiwa that you adore today, that you respect today, that you honor today, that you think is anointed today. There is nothing of God on Emmanuel. Nothing. Absolutely nothing. Don't be deceived. Modern day native doctors are just wearing suits and having a very fine haircut and speaking through electronic devices to alter their vocal cords and to enhance the depth of their speech so that they sound as if they are receiving revelations from the divine. But all those are gimmicks. Like I said, let me take you back into time and pay very close attention. There's a period when Emmanuel Makandiwa did the same thing that he is doing tomorrow. Like I have already highlighted, what's happening tomorrow at Emmanuel Makandiwa's shrine, it's a ritual. And I want to advise all the native doctors in Zimbabwe, don't fall for the trap. All the sorcerers, witch doctors, sangomas, do not fall for Emmanuel Makandiwa's trap. He might give you the $1 million US for predicting whatever that will be in his pocket, but you are going to lose your everything. He wants to renew his covenants. He wants to tap into an additional source of power. Makandiwa is depleted now. He wants to re-energize his so-called prophetic power, his so-called foretelling abilities. There's a time when Emmanuel Makandiwa was doing all sorts of gimmicks. And that part of his history has been overshadowed with the new Emmanuel Makandiwa, who is now known for teaching deep revelations. But the deep revelation Makandiwa you know today is in no way connected to the real Emmanuel Makandiwa. Emmanuel Makandiwa is not even his real name. Shingirai Chirume. That's his real name. His original name. He also has an uncle who's in prison as we speak. And if I'm going to tell you why his uncle is in prison, you might not understand. So let me not mix all these things up. I'm not even going to take you back into time when he was operating with his uncle as a pair, doing what they used to do, what they know best. So let me spare you the trouble of getting you involved with too much detail. Let me just go in around 2011, 2012, 2013, 2014, that part of history. There's a time when he did the same ritual that he is going to do tomorrow. And if you've been with Makandiwa from 2011 to 2013, let's just say in 2011, between 2011 and 2012, if you've been a loyal follower of Emmanuel Makandiwa between 2011 and 2012, I want you to refresh your memory. I want you to think deep. There is a woman who was called the vagrant prophetess. There is a woman who was called My Praise. Think. My Praise was more like a sangoma. She was more like a native doctor. She used to do crazy miracles. She used to perform certain miracles that have never been witnessed under the sun in some small city in Harare called Mbare. Ministers used to flock to Amai Praise's shrine for help. They used to call her the vagrant prophetess because she was just doing whatever that she was doing in a very dirty environment. But high-profile people would visit her for help. And she would help people like no man's business. She was gathering a crowd which was bigger than the crowd that politicians in Zimbabwe were gathering. She was gathering a crowd which was bigger than Emmanuel Makandiwa was gathering. She was gathering a crowd which was much bigger than all the prophets in Zimbabwe combined were gathering. That's how powerful she was. But all her practices were of the dark world. She was doing all sorts of rituals, slaughtering chickens, slaughtering animals, helping people. Makandiwa heard of this woman back then in 2011, and he paid her a visit. He made her an offer that she couldn't resist. Makandiwa is very calculative. He approached her for one or two reasons. To tap into her anointing, the so-called anointing, or to rub into whatever that she was using so that he can also do the same thing, or even more than what she was doing. Because now Makandiwa was being powered not only by the source of My Praise's so-called power, but that was after he had also returned from Ghana. When he had an encounter with Kusi Boateng, they did whatever that they did there in Ghana. I'm not going to go deeper in that area, but let's talk about his visit to Ghana and coming back and approaching My Praise for more powers. He lured My Praise. He took My Praise from her shrine and he introduced My Praise in his church. If you were in UFIC in 2011, you know what I'm talking about. I cannot make this up. There are articles that were even written I still have all those articles. There's a document that I'm going to throw at you very, very soon about Emmanuel Makandiwa. So just be patient and know that everything I'm telling you can be backed up with proof and evidence. He brought this woman to his church as if he was doing charity. If you're in UFIC in 2011, please, I know you want to defend your spiritual father, but flow with me. He brought her to church. He even introduced her in church and told his members that this is one of the mightiest prophetesses of our time. And we want to build a house for her. So contribute money so that we build a house for this mighty prophetess in our midst. And UFIC members, Makandiwa's members, contributed huge sums of money to build a house for my praise. Don't fight me yet. If you were there, you know. Don't just defend what you don't know. And if you're not there, zip it. But at that time, Makandiwa had a massive crowd. So there's no way that at least 500 people or 1,000 people cannot relate to this story that I'm telling you. And people contributed money from this my praise, from this vagrant prophetess. He snatched her from her shrine. And after this day when she was introduced in UFIC, she disappeared. We never heard of her. People started going to her shrine. They couldn't find my praise. They couldn't locate her. Now the question is, where did my praise go? What did Emmanuel Makandiwa do with my praise? Where is the house that Emmanuel Makandiwa collected funds for to buy or to build a house for my praise? I know what you're not thinking. Let me help you think. Makandiwa took this woman and, I suppose, exploited her, gave her promises, or did whatever that he did for her, or manipulated her to a point whereby she gave everything she had to Emmanuel Makandiwa. Because after then, that's when Emmanuel Makandiwa started doing all sorts of miracles, performing all sorts of crazy things. That's when Makandiwa started pulling crowds. That's when Makandiwa started filling up the National Sports Stadium to the brim. And that was the only time he did it during that period when he had taken my praise. So whatever he did with my praise benefited him more. But my praise probably did not really think through everything because she was just a vagrant prophetess. She was just staying there in the streets. So whatever deal they had with my praise, it benefited Emmanuel Makandiwa more. Whether he used her and threw her away, that's something that is still yet to be investigated. Because I've been seeing some pictures circulating on the internet that my praise is now going mad. She's now loitering in Mbare, a high-density suburb in Zimbabwe. She's now mad, according to some of the sources that I've been hearing from Zimbabweans. If it is not true that my praise was used and thrown away by Emmanuel Makandiwa, because Emmanuel Makandiwa is very much capable. That's how he rolls. He will use you and he will throw you away. He doesn't play. That's how heartless, that's how cold he is as a native doctor that he is. So that's a possibility. He could have done that. Or my praise is still the powerhouse of Emmanuel Makandiwa's operations. Or the wristbands, the anointing oils that all of you have been buying from Emmanuel Makandiwa were dealt with by my praise. She must have been the one who was mixing her charms on all those spiritual materials that you ended up buying and wearing and using in your households. Because she was definitely more powerful than Emmanuel Makandiwa. So why am I telling you this story? I want you to connect it with what is going to happen tomorrow at Emmanuel Makandiwa's shrine. He made an invitation. He just included prophets, but he doesn't really care about prophets because the prophets in Zimbabwe, like I have already told you, they carry nothing. They have no any form of power. What he is actually targeting are native doctors, sorcerers, diviners, witch doctors. And once you step in that shrine of Emmanuel Makandiwa, trust me, even if you see, even if you are spiritual, you're going to lose it all. That is a big, big trap. So I'm going to warn you, native doctors, sorcerers, witch doctors out there, don't go for the challenge. The $1 million is just a bait. And I can tell you one thing for sure, Makandiwa will never give you a penny. He won't give you nothing. Makandiwa can't give you his God. Because Makandiwa worships money. He can never give you a dollar. Forget it. He's only luring you to his shrine so that he takes whatever that you carry. He doesn't care whether it is from the dark world, because he actually prefers power sources from the dark world, because those are the ones that he is very much aware of using to manipulate his followers. So the reason why Makandiwa's followers are in bondage, the reason why they can't leave that shrine, is simply because of the spiritual materials that they've been receiving and using under the false pretense of them being holy. But those have been keeping them in bondage. So don't go to this whatever competition that he is holding. It has nothing to do with $1 million. It has nothing to do with any of you proving any of your powers. It has everything to do with robbing you of whatever that you carry. Makandiwa is very calculative. He wants 50 of you native doctors to get there. The traps are already there. The moment you get there, you are gone. You have lost it. And you will never predict anything. You will never see anything. But the transaction would have been completed. The spiritual transaction would have been completed, and you would have lost it all. My witch doctors. I don't mind you losing your witchcraft to Makandiwa, but I'm just saying, the witchcraft that you carry, the dark forces, the powers that most of you carry as native doctors and ritualists, they are in safer hands with you than with Emmanuel Makandiwa. If Emmanuel Makandiwa can siphon all these dark powers from you, trust me, Zimbabwe is doomed. Zimbabwe is doomed. Because Makandiwa is merciless. And to just prove to you that Makandiwa will not give you anything, even though he said you can sue him, even though he said we can sign, and then if I don't pay you after you predict what is in my pocket, you can even sue me. You can sue Makandiwa, but you won't get nothing. Case in point, there's a young lady called Blessing Mashangwa. She went through the same ordeal of trying to claim her money from Emmanuel Makandiwa. After Makandiwa had told her that if you feel like I cheated you of your money, bring me the receipts of the money that you gave me, and I'll give it back to you in full. Blessing Mashangwa brought the receipts to Makandiwa and showed the receipts to Makandiwa. After Makandiwa saw the receipts, did he pay the money? No. Instead, he took her to court. And you know the courts of our African nations, as long as you have money, you can manipulate your way out. And he ultimately won that case. Even though he had agreed to pay Blessing back here $1 million, the same $1 million that he wants to give to native doctors and shrine owners is the same $1 million that he refused to give back to Blessing Mashangwa. She is late now. May her soul rest in eternal peace. So what makes you think he's going to give it to you? Makandiwa worships money. He can't give away his God. So none of you will get $1 million from Emmanuel Makandiwa. Forget it. He even owes me money, huge sums of money. And do you think I can get it from Makandiwa? I have to forget it. Because if he is going to give you his God, then who is he going to worship? Who is he going to worship? So be very awoke, my Zimbabwean people. I know you are suffering. Some of the native doctors there are suffering, and even the prophets there are suffering. But don't fall for Makandiwa's trap. He's luring you all into a trap. Once you go there, you are done. You are doomed. So be wise in your desperate need to go and showcase your powers that you think you have to Makandiwa. Be very clever and be wise. Blessing ended up dying without getting a penny of her money from Emmanuel Makandiwa. She died with pain. She was tormented by Makandiwa because of that 1 million. So you think he'll just give you $1 million. You can sign the papers with Makandiwa, you can sign everything, but he won't give you. So forget it. Run for your lives. I, Mr. PDT, have warned you. If you go ahead and participate in this ritual, just know you are doomed. Just know you are gone. So connect all the dots, put 1 and 2 together of everything that I've just given to you right now, and try to make sense out of it. I'll do part 2 of this video breaking down how Makandiwa operates and what tomorrow is going to be all about. Till we meet again on the next episode of Enlightenment series, It's Mr. PDT. If you're joining me for the first time, don't forget to subscribe. Don't forget to like this video. I don't know why people on YouTube don't like to like videos. By now, we could have reached 100,000, 200,000 subscribers. But you people, you just watch. You don't like. You don't do anything. Why? You don't like me? Is it about me or is it about the things I talk about? If you're part of the community, just show some love. Subscribe as well and hit the like button. I love you. I'm out.